All right, 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 all right. What is good? What is good? What is good? Ladies and gentlemen, of course, you know who I is, the good doc. Dr. Mike back again, once again, with another classic live stream for that ass today. Sincerely hope everybody's having a good one. The good doc's having a good one. As always, just doing videos and just relaxing and chilling. Figured I'd wake up early enough to go ahead and give you guys a quick video or a live stream for today, simply because I felt like it. Official time check, 8:38 in the PM. Eastern Standard Time, 7:38 in the PM, Central, 5:38 in the PM for everybody repping that West Coast. And of course, it is officially 8:38 in the AM Philippine Standard Time. Like I said, sincerely hope everybody's having a good one and having a blessed day. Now, without further ado, if you guys haven't gotten your copy of the BOOTYLOO Chronicles, you already know how to get it. You can email me or look in the link in the description area below for the paperback and ebook versions on Amazon.com. Guys, want to get your very own IPA t-shirts, International Passport Association tees, by all means, you can definitely reach out to me and I'll create a customized shirt for you, no doubt in my mind. All right. What else do we got? I think that's it. All the other ebooks, everything you'll need, social media platforms listed in the link in the description area below. Now, the good doc is who he is. Earlier, well, last night my time, earlier in the morning, you guys this time, 8 p.m., and then I threw some videos up about things to avoid, and then that whole controversy about the blackface thing. That was interesting, but some people felt a certain kind of way about it. Maybe they felt like my commentary was short-sighted, so they try to call me out on it. But hey, it is what it is. I say, my man, to my mans and them, go ahead and make you a video and educate everybody on your personal opinions on that particular video. Anyway, getting into the topic today. All right. Is life in the Philippines as cheap as they say it is? I repeat, is life in the Philippines as cheap as they say it is? This always comes with a backstory, so sit back, relax, and chill for a minute. Now, I recently got a request from my peoples, and they were like, Mike, why don't you do some Davao apartment rentals or places to rent in Davao City so that we could do some, pricing and see what the prices are like for places in Davao City. So I went to some places that cost roughly about 25,000, 30,000 pesos per month. You go inside there, 2 bedrooms, air-conditioned units, everything listed, everything is inclusive in the condo. I mean, packed to the T, everything that you would need if you were trying to live in the Philippines, but at the price of 25 to 30,000 USD per month. Then I said, man, I need to see what life is like on the other end of the spectrum. So I went to another area in the Philippines, in Davao City, just outside of the city limits, just a little bit out, not too far out. And I came across this apartment that was on, it was for rent for about 5,000, and then they had some units available for 6,000. It was a nice little cozy spot, just big enough for yourself and possibly a companion. They had everything that you needed: a sitting area, a bedroom, little kitchenette set up, and a bathroom. They had everything that you need except the one thing that you really, really need. They had everything but the one things. And that one thing, the one thing that was missing in this particular apartment was the fact that it was not furnished, okay? So they had all of the space you need: bedrooms, sala, which is like your living room area, kitchen area, bathroom, but nothing was in it, like I said. So it was about 5,000 to 6,000 unfurnished. So thinking about it in hindsight, I was like, let me think for a second. I was like, by the time that I get everything that I need for this apartment to furnish it, I'm probably going to spend anywhere around 20,000 plus pesos. You think, okay, I'm going to need to get a refrigerator. I'm going to need to get, some sitting furniture or something. I got to have a TV so that I could watch it, possible a bed, something like that. So ultimately, when we're looking at these cheap apartments and they're unfurnished, what we're coming to realize is cheap doesn't necessarily mean cheap in the Philippines, especially if you are forced to furnish that apartment on your own. Bring in anything and everything that you need to make sure that you live comfortably in the Philippines. Now, when we had our house in Toril, okay, I ran into a little bit of trouble out there. The one thing that I refuse to compromise on in any place that I stay is clean bathroom and hot water. And when you go inside of the unit that I said was like 5 to 6 grand, there was no hot water heater. There was nothing. It was just cold water from a spigot in a bucket. So that's also something that you have to compromise with when you're looking for cheap apartments or cheaper places to stay in the Philippines. Now, I had to take cold showers before. Guys, it's the worst experience of my life. And when I told myself I'll never do this shit again. What ended up happening was at our house we had a hot water heater outside of the house. So if we wanted hot water for like a shower, we would go outside, turn it on, let it cook up for about 5 minutes, and then turn it off. So one day I turned it on, went to go take a shower, shower's ice cold. I go outside, check it, make sure it's on. It was on, or it was on the on position. Next thing I know, come to find out, hot water heater's broke. I needed to replace the switch. So for about a week, I had to take a cold shower. And when you're taking cold showers, like for me, I got to prepare myself for that shit. So I'll be standing there ready to take a shower. It take me about 10, 20 minutes before I even start the shower, before I actually take one, because preparing your body to get under something as ice cold as a shower in the Philippines is something that is not cut out for everybody, my G. It is something that is not for everybody. And personally, I had to do it when I had to do it, and I told myself I would never do it again. You know, I figured out a method to get warm water. What I would do is I would shower at about 12 noon when the sun was at its peak. And for some god-awful reason, the hot water heater may not have been working, but for some reason, the hot outside weather would at least get the water warm enough to where I wasn't taking a ice cold shower. That's why I never took showers at nighttime. All of my showers were during the day. So again, that's one thing that I refuse to compromise with. But if you're looking for a place and a space in the Philippines that is 5 to 6 grand, I can almost guarantee most of these places, most of them, maybe not all, but most of them will not have hot water heaters in them. So when you ask, is life in the Philippines as cheap as they say it is? Sometimes it's not, simply because when you have to rent out a space, all of the extras, all of the extras that you have to buy in order to furnish the apartment kind of makes it just about the exact same price as if you were renting a space that was already furnished, at least with the minimal shit that you need, like a nice little not a sitting area, but like a couch and a bed or some shit. So, when you come to the Philippines, it does depend on your taste and your nature and the type of person that you are, to determine, where you can live and what type of money is good enough for you. Like I said, if you're looking for your American amenities, if these are things that you absolutely have to have, then you're going to look to spend anywhere between 15 to about 30,000 pesos conservatively in rent and expenses, electric and all of that. And also not included in the 5 to 6,000 for these cheaper apartments is the electric and water. So basically you're renting for about 5 to 6,000, exclusive of electric, which can be really expensive, exclusive of water, and all other utilities that are required to be paid for. Now, if you're the type of person like me, I have to drink the gallon water, the purified water that you get with the little jug and shit. So I'll buy me a jug of water. That's really cheap, like 35 pesos. But, those are also necessary things that you have to think about as well, because there are going to be some additional expenses when it comes to renting out very, very cheap places. Probably quite the opposite of what you would find in a place that is a little bit more expensive. You do get a little bit more included in those prices. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're going to pay the exact same with a 6,000 peso apartment furnishing it that you would pay with a 25,000 peso apartment. But you're definitely going to find that living life like that, depending on what you need as far as satisfactory to you in your life, definitely going to have to figure out the common ground. You're going to have to figure out how much you're going to spend on all of your extras before you consider, oh, let me just get this 5 to 6K apartment, throw a little bit of stuff in here and call it a day. Because for some reason, I don't understand why, but for some reason, when you plug in that refrigerator in if you plug in the refrigerator, yeah, that thing sucks up a lot of electricity. Plugging in even a small one takes up a lot of electricity. So you're going to end up paying, you say 5 to 6 for the apartment, probably another 1,000, 1,200, depending on how often you use electric, you know, in your electric fee. You know, you're going to end up paying quite a pretty penny. And then that doesn't include Wi-Fi as well. If you need Wi-Fi every month, you're going to have to purchase your own Wi-Fi. Pocket Wi-Fi absolutely sucks and it's unreliable in most areas, so you're going to have to find something that's going to outfit you with internet too. So you think about all of this shit. You think about renting 5 to 6K, then you have to pay your electric, your water, you have to buy a refrigerator, a stand fan at the least, unless you want air conditioning. Then you're probably going to have to buy a hot water heater if needed, or you could do the kettle of hot water in the bucket, which is what I learned to do over time. That'll perfectly suit you just fine. You're going to have to put at least a sitting area. I mean, damn, where are you going to sit at if you don't want to lay on your bed all day? You know, you're just going to sit on your bed all day. So you got to have some type of furniture, possibly a TV, if you want cable and Wi-Fi, if you need that stuff. See, all of this shit's going to end up adding up, okay? That's the point I'm trying to make. So if you're thinking about life in the Philippines and is it as cheap as they say, it can be, but it definitely depends on your lifestyle. You can never tell a person how much money they need to bring. I did a video on that, and I did say, I told you the number that I thought would be a nice number to bring, and that just covers all bases for the minimal shit. Now, I mean, hey, if you can bring that much money per month, like I said in that video, you'll be doing okay. But at the end of the day, everybody's different and everybody's preferences and tastes are different in the Philippines. So we're not going to always be on the same accord. Somebody could look at this 5,000 to 6,000 peso apartment and be like, man, I can't stay there. Why the fuck would I want to stay there for? That shit looks like shit to me. You know what I'm saying? But to somebody who looks at it like, you know what, I'm a minimalist, I can afford what I have as far as the money that I have, and I do pretty well with the money that I have. So why not just take what I have right now, and if I need to upgrade soon, I'll make sure I have enough money for the upgrade. But for right now, just let me throw a cot on the floor, a place for me to sleep. I got my laptop, don't really need a TV, get me a stand fan so that I can not sweat to death and keep it moving. You know, again, like I said, depends on the type of person you are, depends on what you got in this bitch. All right, so without further ado, appreciate all of you listening to me rant Ray for a minute. It is official that we got 25 individuals watching. I appreciate all 25 of you coming through, showing love to the good doc, of course. Please make sure you caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. I promise you, the like button wants it. It will not deny you. Trust me, it is going to say yes, and you have my full consent. Of course, if you guys want to support the channel, you already know how to do so. But of course, the good dog is happy that you come through. Spend just a little bit of your time with him today. Nayon Den. Let's go ahead and get to Bitnas and let's holler at my people in the chat. Shout out to the homie, Mr. Wonderful. Long time no see, my family. Appreciate you being here. No doubt. My man or female, Applehead, appreciate the name. It's off the chain, but much love to you, man. Terry Edwards, I see you. My man, MD, my guy, good evening to you too, sir. Mr. Smith, what's going on? My boy, Black Pablo, Big Kev, appreciate you being here. Kev had a great live show the other day, man. Kev, your shit had me rolling, man. But hey, if my man go sit there in the chat and turn it up, man, let them turn it up. I mean, he basically did everybody a favor by providing a level of entertainment that was off the chain. But yep, loved it. MD says, I believe that life in the Philippines was very cheap at one point, but prices are getting out of control right now. It all depends on where you choosing to stay. Very true. Prices back in the day were very much cheaper than they are right now. That's a clear, definitive understanding of, you know, how can I say this? It's a clear, you can tell. I'm sorry, guys, I lost my train of thought, but you can tell there was a difference between prices now and the way they were back then. I can tell you, like I said, I was there in the early 2000s, about 2006. It wasn't the early 2000s, but yeah. And up to where it is now, prices at fast food restaurants, all of that stuff has already changed. The dollar used to be the shit, still is the shit, but to one point, it's really starting to take a significant change over time. Shout out to the boy Reginald Graham. Much love to your family. Awahudu said, did the place have quarters for a cute young maid? No. In the 25,000, yeah, you could move her into the spare bedroom if you want to, but not at no place that costs you about 5,000 to 6,000 a month. Uh, MD, you gonna go out on a limb and say you're blaming the other Asian people on that? Yeah, you could probably say that. That's a safe bet. The way that they spend in this country is ridiculous. It truly is. They don't have a care in the world for their money, but it is what it is. My man, Mr. Smith, says yesterday my girl said that one of her employees asked her for a raise. She told him no, and that his 500 pesos per day was enough. Then asked her if she could survive on 500 pesos. No, he said, then I asked her if she could survive on 500 pesos and got no response. Well, you know what? In hindsight, here's what I learned about here's what I learned about Filipino people. And I don't care how you take this. This is just real. And the reason that I learned this about Filipino is because I had employees too at the business I used to have, right? So one thing that she told me, and she told me as plain as day, my employee at the time, shout out to her, much love to her. She was good people's. She told me, don't pay me every day. She was like, pay me twice a week. I don't want you to pay me every day. She came out and said, sir, don't pay me every day. And I'm like, why? She said, because it's hard for me to keep up with my expenses if I'm getting paid every single day. Like, if I know I'm going to get paid every 2 weeks, then I know how to budget my money for the 2 weeks. You know, okay, I need to take care of this bill first. I need to take care of that. I need to take care of that. Bam, I'm good. But if you pay me every day, I can't find the money when I need it at the time at the end of the month for me to be able to pay it, because they don't know the concept of saving. Many of them don't have the concept of saving. So when you give them all of their salary at one time and they know that there are certain things that need to be paid out, that's how they're able to budget their money. So giving them 500 a day every work day, it's pretty rough, man. It's very hard for them. It's not so much that it's a very, very small amount, even though it is, but that is the standard. I think that's the minimum wage, something to that effect. That's about the minimum wage in the country already, 5, maybe 600 or something like that. So it's not the fact that it's a small amount for the country or the person, but it's more so about the idea that it's harder for them to budget when they're getting money every single day. Now, for me, it's different. Like I said, I know exactly what I need and when I need it. I know what I'm going to spend on food per day. Half the time I bring my food with me so that I'm not paying extra to go out and eat and stuff like that. If you're employed and stuff, that's the best way to go about it. But that's not the average thought process. That is not the average thought process for your average Filipino. So yeah, it's not that she couldn't. Honestly, I just don't think that giving them money every day works to the best of their benefit. And I've learned that over time, interacting with them. Anybody that gets paid every day is always broke at the end of the month. Every single time, they're always broke at the end of the month. Shout out to the homie Rain, man. Much love to you. My man MD says a cold shower after being out in the heat is not that bad. I've tried it before, and it's not that bad. Well, let me tell you something that I did here. Don't quote me on this, but somebody told me that you should never take a cold shower after being out in the hot sun. You should wait for your body to cool down before you take a shower at all. They said something could happen. I don't know what it was. I remember somebody saying, oh, did you just come in from outside? Wait 10 minutes or 20, wait 10 to 15 minutes before you take a shower. I never asked why. I just did it. I just did what they should. I just did what they asked. So Oahudu says cold shower is not too bad during the hot summer days. I've done it for a month. Can't do it, man. I'm sorry. I need my AC and my Wi-Fi more than hot water. I need hot water. I don't feel clean unless unless I'm able to. I don't know why. It's just me. A cold shower doesn't make me feel like I washed the dirt off my body. It just feels like it's stuck to me. My man Isaac, what's going on? He says a decent Wi-Fi and AC is where I must have in the Philippines, and that right there is going to be your cost, man. That is where all your money is going to go, to that AC and that Wi-Fi. So if you got the money to do it, so be it. But again, Philippines is not as cheap as people want you to believe it is. Shout out to the boy MJB, my boy Malcolm. You didn't get the notification. They be killing me. They don't like me anymore, man. Yes, Doc Robust is definitely in the house. Appreciate you guys coming through and showing love. My man Serge in the building. And, of course, Benny the Mag telling everybody he groped the shit out of that like button. I appreciate you for that one. He said you got to grab it by its private parts. Make sure you know that, it's happening. So Oahu says Philippines can be as expensive as you want it to be. My dream is to stay at the Marco Polo while attending Ateneo. You got to have big dreams. I don't know why you would want to stay at the Marco Polo because of how expensive it is, but do you, man? You do your thing. Channel 19, what's going on? My man Malcolm says, well, I guess my lady can budget probably better than me. Some Filipinas are good at it, but I've met quite a few that have struggled, and they just don't like the idea of that happening. You know, that's what I will say. My boy Eddie Jackson in the building. What's going on, family? My man Christopher, it's seizures. Okay, so if you come in from the outside and you take a shower immediately, you could have a seizure. That's what it is. I appreciate it. Somebody told me something bad could happen. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you're probably right with the seizures. They did say something could happen to your body. Again, I'm absent-minded. I just never questioned it because whenever my girl tells me shit, I just say, okay. You know, like I don't question it. I don't ask why. She just says, babe, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, so I'm not going to hop in the shower if she tells me I need to let my body cool down first before I get into a shower. So, all right. Appreciate that one, family. All right, Eddie got that like in. I appreciate you, player. My man Terry Edwards says, Dr. Mike, my Filipino friend has no concept of saving. She wants to shop. I asked her, does she save anything? And she was like, maybe, but I couldn't help. But I wanted to shop. And that is some bad juju right there. I mean, shopaholics, that's a natural thing in women, I believe, period. I don't care what nationality you are. Women love to shop. But what I've noticed about, what can I say? What I've noticed the most about Filipino people is, like I said, budgeting is not the specialty of everybody, okay? It is not. And it's not so much shopping, but it's just the fact that at the end of the month, they always find themselves broke. And that's why my employee begged me. She was like, pay me twice a week. Don't pay me every day. Most people that say pay me every day so I have money every day. But then when you're giving out, let's say you do 500, let's say you put 100 towards food or this, that, and the other, but then you have rent at the end of the month and your rent is like 3,000 or something like that. So now you have to figure out, well, most rent, if you're living in a space like that, probably about 1,500 or so, you'll probably be able to afford a nice little bed space. So let's say you got 1,500 in your bed space and that's it. It covers everything that you need for that particular, you know, living situation. At the end of the day, it's like, what can you do? I mean, you have to pay. You're not going to pay your landlord, okay, let me give you 500 today, 500 the next day, 500 the next day, simply because you can't do it that way. Most of your landlords say, give me the money up front or pay me by this specific day. So if you're trying to budget over time, instead of putting it away or putting it to the side because you know you need it for your rent, you could ask her, can I pay you 200 pesos or 300 pesos or something? It's probably be like 100 pesos per day until I'm able to give you all of your money. But then you're going to miss a payment and then you're going to be lacking at the end of the month. So it always seems to be a money management issue that I've always had to deal with, or that I've always heard about. When it comes to, you know, Filipinos and trying to budget their money when they're getting paid every day. My man says, tell me the cost of the Philippines in comparison to North Carolina. Dirt fucking cheap. And I think that could be in relation to any place in the United States, period. Even if you are spending 25,000, 30,000 for a pretty decent apartment in comparison to what you would pay in the United States for the exact same type of apartment, you're still coming out relatively on top. We're talking anywhere double. So if you're paying about 30,000, that's roughly about $600 for an apartment that you can find in the Philippines for that particular price. You would probably pay anywhere between $1,000 and $1,200 for the exact same type of setup in the United States. Again, cost of living in the Philippines is definitely cheaper, but I'm not going to say that the Philippines is cheap in itself, because it is not. Okay, it is not a cheap place. It's cheap if you know how to live and budget right and do your thing, but ultimately shit can get expensive. If you allow it to get expensive, it can get expensive. And that's pretty much the reality that we have to live with. Okay? That's pretty much the reality that we have to live with. He says, Doc, is the Philippine weather as hot as Africa? No. Hell no. I think, no. I think the African weather, from what I've heard, I've never been to Africa, guys, don't shoot me, but they tell me that they get temperatures up in the hundreds and shit like that. it gets hot in the Philippines, but I cannot imagine it being hot. And no, you know what? Let me stop the show for a second. Let me tell you exactly the difference. Okay, here's what I heard. In Africa, they tell me that the weather is hot and dry. In Africa, they say that it's really like a desert type dry heat. In the Philippines, it's a humid heat. So they're roughly about the same, probably in temperature, but you get two different weather reactions. In the Philippines, it's very humid, very, very humid. In Africa, from what I've heard, again, guys, don't shoot me for it, but what I've heard is the heat out there is very dry. You understand? If that makes sense. So that would be the main difference, but they probably are relatively about the same in temperature. But I do believe Africa gets a lot hotter than it does in the Philippines. Oahudu says certain things can be expensive, milk, cheese, and iPhones for your Filipinos. That's why we don't buy them iPhones. Malcolm says she likes to shop for food because you can't eat clothes or purses, perfumes. That's definitely a survival instinct. Can I eat this purse, or is this purse going to bring me value down the line? If not, I don't want it. I love the way most people say that. My man Rayman says they are scared of getting sick if your body is hot and suddenly go for a cold shower. They think they will get sick from sudden shock of temperature change. I believe that's also accurate as well. My man Malcolm says, sounds like me, always food over anything. Kyle Winston says, it can be cheap, but you have to make some sacrifices. Very true. Shane Powell, what's going on? He says, what's good, bro? I'm the guy that's been emailing you. I'm leaving 3 weeks. I'm going to use your Airbnb link, get that 40 off. I'm going to be there for like 3 weeks, man. Shout out to you, bro. I hope all is well for you and a safe trip, my friend. Oahudu says, it depends. There are places in the Philippines that could be just as expensive, like BGC and Boracay. Very true. Shout out to Sentai7. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you being here. Long time no see. All right, Cal Winston says, but to live a Western middle-class family lifestyle is more expensive. Very true. Ed says he is out of surgery. He says Serengeti. I'm sorry. Out on the Serengeti where I live is awful hot. All right. It can be more expensive. You said I'm sunburned to hell right now. Well, Ren, if you're spending all the time on the boat getting drunk and having the time of your life, then of course, chances are you're gonna be fucked up, because Philippine weather is definitely hot. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's just hot. Hot as hell. Hot, higgity hot, hot. Shane says, is 2,000 a good budget for 3 weeks? Yes, I do believe 3,000 is definitely more than sufficient. 2,000 more than sufficient in my opinion. He said the humidity there is like Atlanta. Well, I never spent a lot of time in Atlanta, but if it's as hot as you say it is, I believe you, man. Oahudu says, by comparison, bar fines are cheap, but you have to factor in your doctor bill for relief. Bro, you stupid, man. How you gonna tell people that? So you're basically gonna tell them that they're gonna catch a little something on the side? Are you trying to convince people that it's almost automatic that they're going to catch a little something on the side? You don't want that. You don't want that. I don't want that for y'all either, man. So you got to play it safe. But again, like I said earlier, guys, is it really as cheap as they say in the Philippines? Yes and no. Like we talked about before, depending on your lifestyle and depending on the way that you live your life, depending on the things that you absolutely can't live without. I think that is the absolute most important essence and X factor when it comes to whether it's going to be expensive for you or not. Thinking about the things that you absolutely cannot live without. If you are a person that says, you know what, I've got to have my burgers and my fries, my chicken sandwiches and everything, I got to have my Western food, then you're going to find yourself eating at the McDonald's and the Jollibees and the Greeniches, the Fridays, the Italianis, the Big B's, and places like that. Now, again, McDonald's and them are not always all expensive, you know, depending on what you order. But if you like your sit-down restaurants and that's what you do every day, that bill's going to add up, no doubt in my mind, especially if you're treating for two. On average, $25 to $50 per meal. If you're sitting down in restaurants like Fridays and Italianis and places like that, shit going to add up, no doubt, especially if you like to get dessert. But like I said, it depends on the things that you absolutely cannot live without. If you need your air conditioning and you let that sumbitch run 24 hours a day, expect that bill to be high. If you're the type of person that says, okay, I'm only going to let it run at nighttime while I sleep, turn it off in the daytime, and just use my stand fan or my fan inside the house, you might be able to skate away with not having a expensive electric bill. If you're the type of person, like I said, if you're the type of person that can't live without internet, I'm one of them. And you need a solid provider service, not just some data on your phone or not just some bullshit like that, then you know you're going to need to get, you know, a solid internet plan. So again, you're looking at a good internet plan is going to cost you about $1,500. I have Netflix, so I don't need cable. And besides, I don't watch local TV. If my girl wants to watch an ABS-CBN show, she can go online and repeat the show on YouTube or something like that. So at the end of the day, I don't need basic cable. So I'm lucky that I got Netflix and shit. So I'm straight. But at the end of the day, guys, it all depends on what you can afford to live without. Like I said, if you can't live without your internet, your cable, your air cons, your Americanized foods and all of that shit, then you're probably going to find the Philippines to be expensive. And the reason you're going to find it to be expensive is because those particular items in the Philippines are considered imports. Things, well, I mean, not air conditioners, but they're more Americanized, westernized standards. So the standards that you're looking for are definitely going to be more expensive. I'm the type of person, put a fan in front of me, I just let that sumbitch blow on me till I get cool enough and I'm good to go. I don't really need an air con. But what I will tell you is every time that I stayed in an Airbnb, I ran that air con 24/7. I will not lie to you. I never turned it off. I let it run even when I was outside. You know, because again, I'm not paying for it, so it's different. But like I said, if you're the type of person that, you know, you need these things, you definitely need to make sure that you prepare for it. Please prepare. Because it ain't gonna always be easy, family. I will tell you that. All right. So now I need to go all the way back up because I miss people. Shout out to the homie Big Brother. I see you, man. He says, just curious. Quick search shows teacher salaries less than 30,000 pesos a month. Can't an expat live like a local teacher on that? To be honest, if you're asking me, if you're asking just me, I know I can. That's the thing. I can do it. But I will probably not lie to you and tell you that's going to be a struggle. That will be a struggle for real. You know, well, it'll be a struggle for a lot of people, but I've lived in the country long enough to know what I can and cannot live without, okay? Like I said, all I need is my hot water when I take a decent shower. That's all I need. I got my Netflix, so I don't need anything like that, but I need my internet. So let's do the numbers real quick. I'm going to run you some quick numbers. Let's say that I found me an apartment for we'll say 10,000. We'll say that I found an apartment for 10. This is hypothetical because at least 10,000, I believe that's a very decent apartment. I'll say it's decent. So if I had a 30,000 peso budget, 10,000 would be for my living space, probably cheaper. Internet would probably run me another, I'll say internet is 1,500. So that's 11,500. If you had to pay water, it'd probably be about 300. So that's 11,800. We'll say that you spend money on food. Let's say you do groceries all the month. We'll say that might run you another 10, give or take, probably 7 if you know how to spend right, go to the market and shit. So that's about 18,800. Leaves you roughly with about 11K. After which, that's probably about 11,000 left over to spend as you please. It's not that bad. But like I said, if you have your basic necessities, and if you're single, actually, I do believe that you'll probably get off easy eating out all the time. I do believe that you'll probably come out cheaper than having to get, you know, refrigerators and stuff for you to hold your shit. So you'll probably come out cheaper by eating out a lot of the time. It sucks, but I mean, you can get your 100 peso meals and shit like that. That's going to be fulfilling for you. And it depends on how often you need to eat. I've been able to curb my appetite to eat twice a day, probably snack throughout the day or snack a little bit, have one big meal, and I'm good to go. So, you know, it depends on your lifestyle. A lot of things and a lot of variables are taken into consideration, but I know that if given the opportunity, I would probably be able to live off of 30,000 a month. It would be hard. I will not tell you it will be easy, but I do believe wholeheartedly I can make it work. But it may not be able to work for everybody. That's for sure. But like I said, I was just spitballing some numbers so you can get a general idea. 10,000 for an apartment, 1,500 for your internet. If you have to furnish the apartment, whew, make sure you have some money set aside to do that. You're gonna need your bed. You're gonna need a fan. You're gonna have to buy your own fan unless you have one. You just got to think about the little shit that you have to buy and make sure you have enough money to do that when it's about time for you to make a move like that one. My man Shane says it must be hot like Las Vegas. It truly is. Vegas is hot as hell. Philippines is up there for sure. Eddie Jackson says, good question for you, Doc. It wasn't living in Davao. Where, if you weren't living in Davao City, where would I live? Those are my secret spaces, man. I can't tell everybody my secret places and spaces and shit. Cagayan de Oro. I would go to Cagayan. And then there's two other places that I failed to mention because I don't want anybody knowing my secret areas. But yeah, Cagayan de Oro would definitely be one of the three places that I would move to. Awahudu says, getting your sweet Filipinos are cheap, but just make sure you have enough to bribe your way out of jail. Please don't go to jail for these hoes, man. Shane says, is it easy to find weed there? Because 3 weeks I'm gonna need to smoke. Please don't, but I don't know. I don't smoke weed, guys. I don't smoke. I don't know anything about it. Don't know. I don't have a connect. I don't know shit, but you can always find somebody in the club scene that'll direct you in the right direction. But please be careful. I advise just don't do it, simply because there is still a iffy thing about the war on drugs here. And just because they're considering legalizing marijuana, it ain't legalized yet. So just be careful with how you soon to do that. Please be careful. Kevin, what's going on? He says, are you asking me my monthly health insurance cost? Shit. I don't have health insurance in the Philippines, guys. I don't have health insurance. But you know what? My girl does. And you know what? I'm on her plan with Phil Health. For some reason, she was able to specialize the Phil Health thing, wherein she could add one dependent that could receive health coverage in case I needed to go to the hospital, and she chose me. So there you go. I don't have it. My girl has it, and I'm just on her plan. See? So in case I get the chuckles and in case I get sick, I just go with my girl and shit. Everything will be all right. My man Channel says, do you think the rate of the peso will go down in the next year or so? Probably. I do believe the rate of the peso was not going to sustain at 50. Eventually, the Philippine peso was going to get stronger, and the dollar is definitely going to get weaker. It is almost inevitable, ladies and gentlemen. It will fall below 50, probably, maybe, possibly before the end of the year. I'm just predicting shit. I'm not no financial analyst. I'm not doing any research on it. I'm just basically predicting that it will fall below 50 by the end of the year. So by the turn of the new year, January 2020, we might be seeing 49, 48 or something like that. Maybe not. Maybe not. My man Jamal, what's going on, family? Appreciate you coming through. He said, are there any good restaurants in Angeles? You got to ask the Angeles folk. Sentai7 says, internet is costing Chixie and I $2,500 a month for high internet. Sometimes it's a necessary sacrifice. In Davao City, the best internet that is available, as far as I'm concerned, is Sky Cable internet. But PLDT has had its issues, but it's definitely a solid thing. And for a good, I don't know if it's 5 megabits. I don't know if that's good or not, but I know it's 5 something. The internet works well for me. The downloads are still fast and all of that stuff. So, whenever I was staying in my Airbnb, I never had any issues with internet, no lagging, no stuff like that. So again, 2,500, your shit better be working super proper. But again, like I said, Ren, you use the internet as part of your business, as part of marketing yourself and, having your YouTube channel, and Chixie the same. So there is benefit to have internet. Sometimes the money made on YouTube or sometimes the money made doing your internet thing is enough to pay for the internet itself. You feel me? That's what I love. When my internet can be paid, by what I do online, which is the main reason why I need the internet, then it doesn't bother me to have internet. It's not going to be a burden to me because the money made doing what I do is already covered, or I've already been able to pay that expense, that $50 expense, through doing my internet stuff, So MD says, I have no problem eating some Filipino food. There's a little place in IT Park that sells rice and chicken. He said the shit's pretty damn good. I forget the name of it. I'll definitely check it out. I do have a plan to go to Cebu sometime soon, but not quite right now. So Sentai 7 said he uses Globe. And as long as it works, man, you got to work with what works for you. I know that what worked best in my area was Sky Cable. It may not be for everybody, but Sky Cable did pretty good for me. He says Denny's is more expensive in the Philippines and it tastes weird. Yes, Denny's looks like shit. I'll never go to Denny's in the Philippines. I just don't think that it's not worth it, guys. He said, what about appliances in the Philippines for a condo? Is Lazada any good? I wouldn't use no Lazada. Lazada be giving some cheap shit. Lazada be giving some cheap shit. So, I wouldn't trust Lazada. I'd rather just go to like a mall, a local little space, find me something just cheap and easy to work with for the moment. But again, you can't be cheap on everything, guys. I've noticed that you can, just because it's cheap doesn't mean that it's great, because you're going to end up replacing it every month or every other month or so. So be careful with buying cheap shit in the Philippines. Sometimes it's better to spend that extra couple thousand to make sure you have something that's solid and that's going to last. But appliances like blenders and microwaves and all of that shit, you can buy it on Lazada, but you probably come out better just going to a mall and picking your shit out yourself, Oahu Dude says you won't need your porno in the Philippines, and if you have to ask why, you're a doobie. You're stupid. But that's probably true. My man Malcolm says shit better to have and not need than to not have at all. True that. My man Cal says 3 to 5K for apartments, 5K for food, about 1,500 for internet, 500 for the phone. Definitely can't forget the phone. About 2K for electric and the rest on other things. So it's a K salary for a local teacher. Yeah, like I said, I could make it work. I mean, I know where I can skimp on a lot of things and make it work for myself, but then again, it's not for everybody. It seems expensive. Like I said, I basically put 10K on an apartment as just a hypothetical. That means I'm not lowballing myself and saying, oh, 4, and it end up being like 5 or 6. So if I shoot a little bit higher and let's say I get something for 7, then I'm pocketing $3,000. So I have that extra $3,000 to throw towards something else. So I would rather overestimate than underestimate, because a lot of people do that in the Philippines. I mentioned that in my video earlier. People tend to underestimate how much they think they're going to spend, and then when it's time to make moves with more money, they need to figure out how they're going to get money to themselves. Chris, don't take it to heart, homie. Don't take it to heart, man. I'll be running up people there, cats and shit. Yo, man, it's all in the price anyways, man. They be overcharging me. They be like, yeah, Mike, it's going to cost you X amount per night. I'm like, shit, I'm going to get my money's worth. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Nah, but I'm playing. I'm not that bad. And to be honest with you, that was kind of a joke. I do not run my aircon all the time, because can you imagine coming into a cold apartment after you've been out sweating and what that does to your body? Like, I could catch pneumonia. So I'm kind of joking with that. I wouldn't leave my aircon running even if I'm not in it. I have to turn it off because I have to be able to cool my body down, take a shower, and get comfortable, because I can't have the aircon on after you take a shower. Your body's going to be super chill, so I couldn't do that. I complain about having cold showers, so it's not something that I actually do, but I have done it before. I wouldn't leave it on while I'm out, but definitely I sleep with it on, and when I'm there during the day, I will keep it on. No fronting. Big Brother says, interesting people talking of Africa like one country. Temperatures are very high. South Africa has winters below 10 degrees Celsius. The snow pH better, more Philippines hotter and more humid than most of South Southern and East Africa. That's what I thought. I thought it would be a little bit hotter. He said, if you're coming back to Angeles, recommend Candy Towers. Just ask for a bed with no bugs. You stupid, man. You stupid. Since I 7 says, I'm trying to put together a cost report this month. I was in Singapore. It was hot, so aircon was on every day. He said eating out every day, mostly over budget. That sounds about right. Clintus, what's going on, family? Appreciate you being here. Wahudu says Singapore is supposed to be the cleanest city on the planet. It should be. I've heard that too. You can't spit. If you spit, you get in trouble. Yeah. Probably sounds like something very expensive. My man Malcolm says, hell, he says, I'm low maintenance and not materialistic, so I could do it for less pesos. I agree. A lot of us could live off of less, but there are some things a lot of us refuse to do away with. Again, I'm no different. There are certain things I can't live without, and I won't compromise on them. My man Jaw says, would 2,000 USD be good for appliances if you had to buy for your place? Yeah. Bruh. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about appliances like you need an oven, a refrigerator, a blender, a microwave, and like the big, huge appliances, I think you should be able to do well with that budget. But your ovens, depending on where you get them from, you don't want no cheap shit. So you have to figure out what works best for you. And I do recommend gas ovens over electric ovens. Gas over electric. I learned how to work my gas oven, and it was fucking awesome. I was like, man, I've been sitting here struggling on how to work this thing forever. Once I figured it out, it was awesome. I think my propane tank I changed out once every 2 months or so. Probably cost me about 700 pesos or so, depending on the size of the tank you get. But I do prefer gas over electric ovens. They cook a little bit more even when you do electric convection type ovens and shit. They kind of cook all in one area, and you got to kind of move your stuff around to be able to make it fit and make it cook the way you want it to, make it do what it does. So no doubt, man. Awahudu says, did you try spitting and chewing gum in Singapore? I wouldn't do that shit. Rob says, I just need a toilet that can flush. Spent 1 month in a province and refused to use the bathroom. Had to take a boat every 2 days just to use the bathroom. And a Jollibee. Like I said, Rob, certain things we refuse to live without. I need a clean bathroom too, bro. I can't live my life without a clean bathroom. One thing I refuse to sacrifice. My boy Brian, that's what's going on, family. Yeah, Christopher, you right. The homie definitely don't take drugs too kindly. So I'm just not going to do that. Clintus, he says, how much are the gym memberships in Davao City? I went to a gym in Davao City and it cost me $2,500 a month. So about $50. And it was a really good gym. It was $50 for a really good one. But you could probably get a gym membership for like $500, but you're not going to have top quality equipment. You're just going to have the basics, your bars, your weights, maybe a treadmill or two, and that's about it. So you can get one for $2,500 like me, or you can get the little 500 joint, just enough for you to lift your weights and do your thing. You know, you got to be able to figure out what's going on and how it works for you, though. So Clintus, yeah, about $2,500 for a decent gym membership. Probably a little bit on the expensive end, though, if I'm going to be honest. You could get them cheaper than that, but that was my gym membership fee when I actually had a gym membership. My man Christopher says marijuana isn't legal yet for medicinal purposes. When it is, it'll be government distributed and controlled. And I am not surprised. Shout out to the homie Dante Will. I see you in the building, family. MD, appreciate you being here, man. Angeles has many Western type restaurants, more than most cities. Won't be hard to find one, no doubt. Mello, what's going on, family? Shane Powell says my boy is in the army, and he told me that Filipinos with a darker complexion and black features typically like white dudes and lighter skin, but the lighter Filipinos love black men. That is the conundrum. I did a video on that. I seem to get a lot more side eyes and like some weird looks from tan, darker skinned Filipinos when I try to talk to them. I don't understand why. It's not all the time. I just feel it. I feel that type of energy. Sometimes the energy is just wrong. And I'm like, damn, bitch, you darker than me. Why you looking at me sideways and shit? But I do believe that that is their preference. Nothing against it. I mean, I'm not saying that's everybody's forte or way to go. It's not all Filipinas. It's just some of them naturally gravitate towards the Caucasian males simply because the Caucasian males like their women that way. Like, it's weird to me. No, somebody explained it to me earlier in my video. Because what I said in the video is, it's weird to me that, you know, if you're trying to attract the Caucasian male, that you would want white skin, because the Caucasian males don't really go for shit like that. But then somebody said, I think they're pandering or catering to a different type of crowd, aka the Chinese and the Korean types. And I'm like, you know what? That makes absolute perfect sense, simply because they throw money around this country like it ain't shit. It's like wiping your ass with 1,000 peso bills when you come around these people. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, man, there is no filter. There is no concept of spending. They ruin it for a lot of people, bro. They ruin it for a lot of people. And then you wonder why. Never mind. I ain't gonna say it. I done already said it, but I ain't gonna say no more. But you wonder. Mr. Smith says having only one lady will definitely save you some money. Yes. If you got to trick out on 100 different girls, man, good luck to you, my friend. My man, Mr. Smith says, have you become accustomed to using the toilet sprayer? Hell yeah, I can't live without my bidet, my little ass sprayer, man. I can't live life without it. It's so much fun. I feel so much cleaner. It's weird. It's weird at first, now. Don't get it twisted. It's weird as hell. So, but yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good now. He says, don't a lot of nicer condos have gyms and swimming pools? Yes. If you do rent out in a nicer condo area, yeah, they have their own gyms. But he just asked me about a gym membership, because at the time where I lived at didn't have no gym nearby. But yes, you're like where I lived in Manila, they got a gym downstairs, so that's all inclusive in the homeowners association fees and all that stuff. So, but if you're not renting in an area like that, that'll probably be roughly in Davao City what you would probably look to pay. Christopher, my man Chris, don't let what I said deter you, fam. Don't let what I said deter you. I just feel naturally, for me, it may be different for you, I just feel like naturally my response, or the response that I get from most tan, darker Filipinas, is not as positive as I get from the other types of Filipinas. I mean, I'm not saying that your results are going to be the same as mine. I mean, you may have better work. You may have better results, man. It's life. I mean, and I've been with some pretty decent tan skin Filipinas in my day. Matter of fact, this, never mind. Not going there. Can't say it, but yeah. Y'all feel me. My man Channel 19 says, do you use public transportation or do you walk a lot? Because I know that could be a part of cost budgeting. I always use local transportation. You ask my girl, I be fighting. I be mad as hell when I got to take a taxi. I be pissed off. I be like, man, I hate giving these motherfuckers my money. Always walking, always public transportation. The only time that I need to use taxis is if me and my girl are going like on a date night or some shit like that, and I don't want to get all sweaty and shit by riding in a taxi during the day. But at night on the way home, if it's a way that we could get around, then we'll do it that way. But yeah, I don't really like taking taxis at all. I hate them. Like I detest taxis with a passion. I take them only and only if I need them. But if I can get on a Jeep and hop and do my thing, I'm on a Jeep, bro. 100% of the time. If I can, at least 99.9% of the time. Or if I'm in the downtown area and where I'm going is closer to where I need to be, I will walk. Ah, shit. My bad, guys. Anyways, like I was saying, are we good? Yeah, we're still good. All right. But yeah, like I was saying, I do walk a lot. I refuse to take taxis unless I have no choice. So public transportation has definitely helped me to save money. I think in a month, I spend maybe 600 pesos, maybe 7. And that's traveling all the time downtown. So I pay $10. Are you kidding me? For getting around? That's crazy. Oahu says most higher end condos have gyms and pools, candy towers, and Angeles, which must be your favorite place. He says just ask for no bed bugs. Larry says, I know what you're saying. There's too much simping by foreigners. It's a sad fact, but it's all good. Don't care. We'll let it be. We'll let it happen. Cal says local Pinoys like lighter women too. Yeah, they're also pandering to their own kind, no doubt. He says Davao has a lot of crappy gyms. Yeah, they do. He said, but good enough to get a workout. Best gym was Marco Polo. Bro, you be plugging Marco Polo, don't you? My man Shane says the crazy thing about it is I like my women thicker like most brothers. I can't really do skinny. I need something to hold. Yeah, man, that's the most of us, bro. A lot of us, some meat. I'm not saying you got to be obese, but you got to have a little something. Got to have a little cush for the pushing, fam. He said, why do they want Koreans? Simple girls say 3 inches, 3 minutes, 3,000. Yeah, the threes. I've heard that. And it's funny, but people really say that shit. And it's sad because I don't even know if these people really know that they're actually being played on like that. But yeah. My man Chris says, do you see a lot of Blasians? In my area in Davao City, not so much, but I think more so in the Manila area, you might get your fair share in that area. But I haven't seen too many in Davao City. Like I said, tan, Morena, all day long. But as far as Blasian, Black and Asian, I can't say that I've come across too many. Larry says, you say in my day like you're an old man. Wait till you get to your 60s. Start talking like that. Everything was back in my day, man. I'm a vet in this bitch, man. Everything that I'm talking about was things that I went through when I was like 18 or some shit. I feel like an old dude. I'm an old soul, man. Best thing I could tell you. Your boy may not be old in age, but I'm an old soul, man. Most of the shit your average guys doing now, been there, done that, had the time of my life doing it, and I'll do that shit again. Promise you, if I could relive my youth and have the knowledge that I have right now, you couldn't tell me shit. You couldn't tell me nothing. Chris says, a Blasian without the vixen consciousness, completely oblivious to how bad she is, could get her bills paid by me. That's true. Like I said, any woman that is not aware of her beauty is the ultimate gold mine for any man. I love a woman who doesn't know how beautiful she is. I love it when you compliment her and she's just really like, I can't believe he finds me attractive. Those are the types of women that you need to look for, because you can groom her to be whatever you want her to be for you. I'm telling you, you can make that woman into whatever you want her to be if you groom it the right way, man. If she is really like that, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, I've talked to girls before that I just cannot believe that they don't find themselves to be attractive. I be getting mad at them like, how the fuck can you sit here and tell me that you think you're ugly? I be having like literal arguments with girls like, how can you fucking tell me you're ugly? Like, she's like, that's all that I was ever told when I was younger and shit. I'm like, really though? Nobody ever told you you were beautiful. Nobody. It's a gold mine, man, but it's a lot of work too. It's a gold mine, but it's a lot of work too, because what you're doing is you're trying to overturn a mentality that she's had her whole life. That's tough. You're trying to overturn something that is innately in her since birth, almost, or at least close to a very, very young age. So, I say that to say this, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be careful when you pick your poison, because I be getting upset with young ladies when I try to tell them how beautiful they are and they don't believe me. I'd be like, why don't you believe me? I'll be arguing my shit, but you just got to take it as is, my friend. Isaac says, does Sat have work in? He said, does what? Does who have work in the Philippines? I'm sorry. I don't think I read that correctly. Oahu says, you don't see many really skinny Filipinas. I think it's the lifestyle and diet. See way more skinny girls in countries like Taipei, Thailand, and Vietnam. Oh, Filipinas are thick, man. They got a little stomach on them, but it's cute. It's sexy. I love it. Fuck it. So, I mean, well, we'll put it to you like this. I'll put it to you like this. There are some skinny Filipinas, but what I will say is, on average, there are other women in Asia that are skinnier, like Koreans, like you said, Vietnamese, Cambodian. Vietnamese, Cambodian, and women from those particular countries definitely come in a whole lot payat or thinner than your average Filipina does. Shane says his boy said Filipino women get attached and they have jealousy issues because he's in the because my boy and his military friends left. She kept on trying to do everything to keep him there, and he said it got physical. Yeah, women don't like you to leave them alone, boy. Don't ever try to be with a girl and tell them you want to go out with your friends. That's a no. No. Going out with your friends is bow wall, not allowed. For the average jealous ones, man. For the average jealous ones, man, oh man. I haven't gotten physical, but you know, it's become an argument, man. It can definitely be an argument, fam. No doubt. Let's make sure we keep it from getting physical. So my man Chris says I've been in the Dominican Republic enough to know their mindsets. I have no idea the mindsets of women in the Philippines. Yes, sir. He says the facts is if her ego ain't active, man, definitely right. So hold on. Oh, he said satellite navigation work in the Philippines. Okay. So Rainman says it does. Okay, thank you for that, because I missed it. I'm sorry. Channel 19, me and you, boy, we on the same page, boy. The good dog like I'm top heavy, boy. I swear. Turn to the side, look like she about to topple over, bro. That's my shit. Shit. All right, guys. It's been fun. I think that I've touched on just about everything that I wanted to. I hope I did, but I'm going to close out in just a second. I'm going to read these last comments, and then I'm going to shout everybody out. My man says, other Asian girls are extremely obsessed with their weight control. Filipino girls don't obsess themselves that much when food is available. Very true. He says, I also couldn't understand how some girls didn't realize how pretty they are until I got my new glasses. Come on. It can't be that bad, my friend. They do speak good English, Shane. They truly do. They speak really good English for the most part. You can have a halfway decent conversation with all of them. But, you know, I prefer a woman who goes to school. Education is key in my life, always has and always will be. And that's the way I like to keep it, man. My man Larry says, I like to work out and stay in shape. What's the likelihood of finding a Filipino who is 40 to 50 who works out and stays in shape? Very, 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 very. Yeah, you can find that. I used to tell people, man, you didn't hear me talking that one. Oh, you may not have been there, but I say that's the cougars. The ones that you like, they always go to the gym. The older Filipinos like to keep themselves in shape. I don't know why. I guess it's a thing that they do when they get older. So you'll find them at the gyms and you'll find them doing Zumba. So I do believe that there is a high percentage chance you'll be able to run across somebody that'll tickle your pickle, bro. Promise. I promise you that. Man, Mr. Smith, be careful with them red horses, man. They call it extra strong for a reason. That shit'll hit your head and put you out. Tell you, knock you the fuck out. Keep it real. Ron, my man, is it Juan Rivas? What's going on, man? He says, what do Filipinos think of Mexicans, Dr. Mike? I don't see any problem with Mexicans and Filipinos at all. I don't think there's any issues. I believe that they'll be just as accepting of you as they are of me. And again, you might even be more accepted. I don't know. But I've never seen... There's only one race of people that I've ever heard Filipinos actually complain about. I've only heard of them complain about one particular race. I'm not going to say who it is because I feel like it's disrespectful, but I've only ever heard Filipinos complain about one particular group of individuals. And I refuse to say who it is. So even if you do guess in the chat, I will not confirm or deny. Rain Man, you are in shape. You're around. Definitely. All right. Appreciate you guys coming through. Let me shout my people out. Christopher, appreciate you being here. Rain Man, Oahu Dude, much love. Juan, appreciate you being here. Mr. Smith, much love to you. Edward, appreciate you. Larry, Shane, my boy Oahu Dude, Mr. Big Brother himself. Isaac, appreciate you. Channel 19, appreciate you, my G. Who else we got in the building? Let me run through these numbers real quick. Cal Winston, man, appreciate you, my dude. Who else we got? Clintus, man. Much love to you, family. Brian S. Always coming through and showing love. The homie Rob 100. Always a pleasure to have you in the building, my G. My man Jamal, appreciate you being here. Mr. Sentai 7, Mr. Red Horse himself, appreciate you being here. The homie Malcolm, Mr. MJ being the place to be. Love you much. Appreciate you for being here. Shit, if I miss you guys, leave your name down at the bottom. I'll make sure I catch it. Eddie Jackson, man, appreciate your family. Kevin, appreciate you being here, my dude. Kevin Farragut, hope I'm saying that right. Don't kill me if I am not. Mr. Wonderful, much love to you. I know my man Terry Edwards was here. My damn live stream won't scroll all the way back to the top, which really has your boy in his feelings right now. I can't scroll all the way back to the top, but I know Lizzie was here for a minute, so shout out to Liz. I know my boy Terry Edwards was in the building for a hot minute. If I miss your name, put it down at the bottom. I'll make sure I go ahead and knock that out for you guys. Nah, I told you, whether you say it or not, I will not tell you the answer. I can't do it. So you can guess. You can guess, but I can't do it. Serge, there you go, families. Much love to the homie Serge, man. I appreciate you being here. I might be on tomorrow, guys. That's the plan. Maybe I'll come on tomorrow. Probably not. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how it plans out. Ren, you gotta ask Ren. I don't know. You gotta ask Ren what his ethnic background is. I believe so. I truly believe it. I don't know. No, Shane, no child support in the Philippines. No child support in the Philippines. It's going to be a long flight, but I promise you, Shane, it's going to be worth it, my dude. Rain Man said he's not guessing. It's all factual for him. Hey, man, I'm not either confirming or denying what it is. If you feel like that is the correct answer, my G, I will let you stick with that one. All right, and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real, but I appreciate you guys coming through and showing love. We ended on a good note. We had 27. We had up to 34 watching tonight. Appreciate all of you guys coming through and showing love to the good doc. Again, make sure you get the likes up on the video, whether you are on your way in or on your way out. Caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. The good doc would highly appreciate that. Again, the like button is consenting, so make sure you knock that out. Okay? With that being said, Rain Man, stop talking about your boy, man. Leave that man alone. You know, Ran family. He said you have to do a paid tour for men to come over there and show them around. Oh, I have no problem showing you around my city, man. I mean, like I said, the only thing you'll ever have to do is get here. Give me a heads up so I can make sure that I'm free, and I'll tour anybody around. I mean, shit. I would do it. I would do it because that's what I want you guys to be able to embrace my city. I want you guys to be able to enjoy what I enjoy. So, like I said, man, you come around and the good doc's not busy, I'll take you guys around. No doubt in my mind. I could set up paid tour packages, but I don't get too many people coming to Davao City. Maybe I'll have some more recently. I don't know. I might have a little bit more people aiming to, take a sneak peek at what Davao City has to offer. But again, I'm very entertaining. I'm very energetic. So I'd probably make that tour into some really, really straight up crazy shit. So we'd probably have some bomb ass times, no doubt. Pour one for the good doc, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having fun. Has been fun. It has been real. So you know what time it is. It's time for us. Do they do DNA in the Philippines? Yes, but the only time that I've ever heard of them doing DNA is to prove if you are the father of the child or not. If you're looking to take that child to your home country, or you're looking to make that child a citizen of your home country, get them a passport, birth certificate, all that stuff that they need, social security number, you need to prove that that child is your own. So that's the only time I've ever heard of them doing actual DNA testing, and that test costs $750. A lot of money. They don't play. So yeah. Shane, you'll do all right, man. But don't scare them, okay? 6'6" is really tall. Okay, I kind of fit in between. Like, I'm taller than the majority of them, but I'm not towering over them. Dude, 6'6", you're a basketball player, so you'll probably get every girl in the country making me jealous and shit. You know I don't like being jealous, man. Ed, don't even bring Balut near me. You're going to have, not happening. Don't do it. Can't do it. Edward, much love to you, man. Appreciate you guys coming through, showing love to the good doc. If I'm not on tomorrow, guys, I'll be on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or about 8:30, depending on what my schedule allows me to do. So with that being said, I'm officially going to close it out. Good doc is officially out. At least Nicole. Paalam, which means we are going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.